This call is being recorded.
What up, what up, what up, what up? This is Brother Hotel coming at you live and direct with Gye-Nyame Journey. Of course, y'all know this is folk tales for grown folks. So some of y'all that's out there listening to me on Spreaker, because you know I still haven't figured out how to link both these things together at the exact same time. So some of y'all are listening to me live on Spreaker. Others of you, I'm waiting for you to call in. Hopefully my usual team will call in. But if not, I'm joined tonight by my brother in arms, Brother Phil Felton, and we are going to go deep. You know what I'm saying? Because now, you know, the show is always about picking up that wisdom and sharing the wisdom that we find, doing that what I call wisdom mining. Anybody that has ever been involved in any mining, you know that it's hard work. And one of the pieces that we all got to understand is there's no quick and easy way to get it. And as I was taught a long time ago, if it comes fast, it don't last. If it comes slow, it's good to go. And I want to make sure that all of us out here is using the wisdom of our elders to move forward. We're using the wisdom of our ancestors to move forward. But we also mixing it up a little bit. So now, first things first, I want to make sure that everybody out there know. I just got a text from Facebook. I want to make sure everybody out there know that we got this fish fry coming up on Friday. We're going to be up in the kitchen heating it up. If there's enough people to help, I'm going to be still doing my radio show, my Freestyle Friday, and we're going to kick it. If not, I'm going to be out there hustling, making sure we raise these funds as far as the kitchen. Now, also, we may be doing the last day of Kwanzaa up at the school, 3500 Refugee Road. The name of the school is Millennium Community School. Make sure you check us out. Now, getting into my rant, right? One of the things I was blessed was that one of my best friend's birthday was today, and we had a couple of minutes to talk. And one of the things we started talking about was the difference between farming styles. You got different farming styles. A lot of people don't understand this because you have what's called rotational crops, and you have those kind of like fixed crops. Like, for example, I could go out and I could plant a seed of corn, and that seed of corn, I'll be able to harvest that maybe in less than 3 months. Corn is a quick growing thing, and you go out and you can get it, right? Same thing with a lot of the stuff that we go to the grocery stores and buy. But some of the stuff that I need you to think about is because a lot of us, we have been groomed in this world to expect everything fast, right? So when it comes to us actually putting in the work, it's hard for us to focus on the other type of seeds that's out there. A lot of us, we think in corn seed fashion. Many of us, we think in cabbage fashion. We think in those small seasonal rotational crop mind states. What I need some of y'all out there, some of you that's on the journey with me, I need some of y'all to start thinking. Well, those of you that's rolling with me, we need to start thinking like those farmers that plant trees. You take that seed of a tree, it's real small, you put it in the earth, you got to take care of it for years and possibly years. And eventually that seed sprouts fruit. Now, because you was patient, not only can you eat the fruit, but you can find shade up under the branches of the tree. That tree can protect you. You know what I'm saying? That tree can feed you. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the things that we're working on in our lives are like these trees. So now, I won't belay the point. I know hopefully Sister Janice will be pulling up real soon. If not, blessings go out to her. Maybe I know Miss Tracy might not be joining us, but maybe she will. Maybe Brother David, but it don't matter. We got Brother Phil here, and I'm going to give him a couple of seconds to address the crowd with anything that he would like to say. Go on and introduce yourself, Phil.
Well, I appreciate you having me on. Everybody don't know, you and I have been friends for snot-nosed age, and talk about
that's a long time.
Yeah, that's a long time, brother. Listen, I love the point what you mentioned about that tree. A good thing, a point I love to point out about that tree, you got to remember something. Roots grows down first before that tree can really sprout up. The further it goes down into that ground, it goes down further, the more stronger and larger that tree is going to grow. And people have to understand that. And that's the thing I like to ask. Another piece of that, what you're saying. Some of us, what are you grounding and rooted in? Is it you got to make sure it's the right soil. You got to make sure it's the right soil that you planting yourself in. And some of us plant ourselves in negative, tainted soil, and that's why we get some of the things, and it produces some of the things that we don't want. But yet and still, we all want to be oak trees, but are you planting yourself in that soils of an oak tree? You know, and then if you're not, it's okay to get uprooted and get into new soil. Well, how are you going to do that? Well, you get around like-minded people, okay, and they're going to take you to places that you've never been before. But this is the problem with most of us. Some of us are afraid to try different things, especially because it's out of our element, or is in another soil process, or is in another land. This is the thing. We all are survivors, okay? And if I'm kicking something positive to you, what's wrong with trying something different and something new? You know, when you got that old raggedy, broke down tree, this is the problem. Some of us, we're okay with that. We don't want to move. But like you were speaking about the shade, you spoke about bearing fruit. What are you bearing? You know, are you a shade tree, or you don't produce anything but negativity? And so let me slow down because come on back in there, Brother Artem.
All right, now those that caught my show on Monday, I did a show, I called it the do-do list. A lot of us are caught up in our do-do list. Now, I want you to remember, those of you on the journey, I talk about the 224 self-help process, right? In Gye-Nyame, we talk about the 224 self-help process. You have to pledge, not to us, but to yourself, to give yourself 2 hours a day, because those forces that are working against you 24 hours a day. I'm asking you to dedicate to yourself, to your own development, 2 hours a day. I'm saying get rid of your do-do list. And what is a do-do list? We have those things that we do, which in essence is not a problem. Then we have the have-to-do list. That's the second do. So I call it the do-do list, right? And many of us don't realize that our do-do list is actually a do-do list, and it's sticking up our lives because we are not doing the things that we do and have to do are not leading us to our purpose. Like you said, a lot of people are planting themselves in the wrong soil. They're planting themselves in their do-do list. See, because those forces that work against you, they want you to do things and have to do things that pull you away from your purpose, right? That keep you busy with tasks that lead you nowhere. Most of us are caught up in those type of things, right? So when we see new opportunities, we can't take the opportunities because we got so many do's and have to do's that are taking us away from what we really need to be doing, right? So, I want those of you out there, start clearing out your list. The things that you do, and especially the things that you have to do, in some form or fashion, have to plug in to your purpose. They have to lead you towards your why. If they are not, you are robbing yourself. You are robbing yourself. You are stealing. You are stealing food from your children's table. You are stealing time from your spouse. You are stealing time from the place that you are working. You know what I'm saying? You are stealing from your life. So the only thing I'm asking you to do is to reevaluate the direction you're going. Reevaluate the things that you keep on turning around talking about you have to do. Because I have so many people, especially, I got so many people that call me for advice. They don't claim, they don't want to listen to me when I say, hey, you got to spend at least 2 hours a day improving you. They don't want to listen to that. And people call in, you give them advice, they just want to talk. And I listen. But then when you start pointing out, like, what are you doing to move you towards your purpose? First off, what is your purpose? Most people are like a boat that has no rudder. They're just spinning around in a circle. And they're begging other people to support them. And they never have time. But then when you find out all the stuff that they're talking about they do and that they have to do, you see that it stinks up their lives because it does not allow them to focus on what they should be focused on. So you have people who get out and go somewhere and do something every day and still come back and be complaining about how they can't pay the bills. How the hell can you go out every day and can't pay your damn bills? How can you go out somewhere and come back and be depressed? How can you go out? How can you accept that? How can you accept that? But I'm done. That's my vent for the night. That's my vent for the night. I'm gonna put on my sound effect. Yeah. You know, because hey, listen, we only get one life. But now, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask Phil to go wisdom mining with me. My crew, I think they might still think that my computer's acting up because my computer started acting up. And those of you that's listening on Spreaker, hit me up at 614-556-4535. Once again, that's 614-556-4535. I'm joined today by my brother Phil Felton, who has who always been smart. He had got that southern wisdom, even though he was born up north. You know what I'm saying? But hey, here is the folk tale. Here's the folk tale of the day. So for those that don't know, we call this folk tales for grown folks because we take a grown folk look at the folk tales that we were taught we was told and taught that they were only for children. But when we really look at these folk tales, many of these folk tales that we go through, those of you that's been riding with me for the last 100 some odd shows know that these stories are not just for kids. Actually, they are codes for us that has been sent down through time to help us move to where we need to be in our lives. So here we go. I'm reading Aesop's Fable, the translation by George Fowler Thompson, and the story we're gonna read today is called The Dancing Monkeys. And I want y'all really to listen to this one. I want you, cause listen. Now, Sister Janice corrected me last week when I said the last one wasn't that dope, and she broke it down, but she's not here today. But this one right here is a life changer. So I'm gonna ring the bell. Class is in section. Quiet, please. A prince had some monkeys trained to dance. Being naturally great mimics of men's actions, they showed themselves most apt pupils. And when arrayed in their rich clothes and masks, they danced as well as any of the courtiers. The spectacle was often repeated with great applause, till on one occasion a courtier, bent on mischief, took from his pocket a handful of nuts and threw them upon the stage. The monkeys, at the sight of the nuts, forgot their dancing and became as indeed they were monkeys instead of actors. Pulling off their masks, tearing their robes, they fought with one another for the nuts. The dancing spectacles thus came to an end amidst the laughter and ridicule of the audience. Brother Phil is new to this one, but so I'm going to start it off. I got to ask this question. How many of you out there are living your lives as dancing monkeys? How many of us out here are living as dancing monkeys? We're going to jobs pretending to be something that we are not. We are in relationships pretending to be something that we are not. We are living our lives trying to make other people happy, pretending to be something we are not. How many of us are living the life of these monkeys? I just want to throw that out there before me and Phil jump into tearing this up and doing the wisdom mining. We're going to do the work for you. I'm going to do some of the work for you. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get the jewels up out of this for you. But you're going to have to clean the jewel up. You're going to have to cut it precisely. You are going to have to shape it into what the Creator made it for, just for you. What it is supposed to look like for you. You got to do that work. We're gonna do the heavy. We're gonna do a lot of heavy lifting for you. But in the end, in order to get the jewel to look in the way you want it to look, you know what I'm saying, to be as valuable as you need to be in your life, you still gonna have to put in some work. Those of you out there that want to join the conversation, hit me up at 614-556-4535. All right. So, Brother Phil, did you hear the story?
I heard the story.
All right. You got some comments on it before because I'm about to tear it up.
Yeah. I just wanted to ask something, and this is just a little question. You know, we had this thing when we was all growing up. We had this thing called the American Dream. And I got a question for everybody right now. Are you living a dream or are you living a nightmare? And if you live in a dream, then are you right now have the wages in your pocket that you can go anywhere in the world when you choose to go without somebody pulling your coattail to say, hey, no, you can't? Or do you extend your job, and do you take a lunch break when you want to, or do you do it when they tell you your lunch break is from 1 o'clock to 1:15 or 1:30? Well, wait a minute. What if I ain't hungry till 2 o'clock? So I ask the question, do you live this thing called American Dream, or do they throw you little peanuts? They giving you nuts. And you're supposed to be satisfied with that, and then still your kids and your wife and or your husband looking funny at you. And wait a minute, and you bringing peanuts home, and wait, and we call that living a dream. No, that's a nightmare. So I'm sorry.
Hey,
take it there, but
oh no, dude. Hey, hold on. No, that's what this show is about, right? Now check this out, because let's take it a little bit deeper. Now, you used to come over my house when I used to live with my grandparents in Akron, Ohio, right? My grandparents had a nice house, didn't they? My grandfather bought you was around when my grandfather bought the house next door to him, tore it down, and added the garage. You remember that, right?
I remember that.
Now, let me say this too. Now, Phil, my grandfather worked his whole life as a plumber, made good money, retired. But because the money he was making in the 70s didn't equal what he needed, he lived a rough life financially in his old age. You know what I'm saying? And the piece that I'm saying is, and the one thing, because I don't want nobody ever to think I don't respect my grandfather, but we have to learn from our elders. My grandfather was wearing a mask. My grandfather was dancing on the stage. My grandfather, you know what I'm saying? In a lot of ways, his story matched the story of these monkeys. And my piece is, my story is lining up that if I don't make major changes right now, I'm being bold enough to say this to people out there. I'm able to recognize where my life is headed, and I'm making changes. I'm making changes because I don't got no choice but to make a change, because if not, I won't have a retirement, because I'm not going to be blessed enough to live long enough like my grandfather, not the way they playing right now. Because you asked about the American dream or the American nightmare. It's designed to keep everybody down. They keep you dreaming, and while they robbing you, while they robbing your pockets, while you living your life based on debt. Like you said, can you fly anywhere in the world without somebody pulling your coattail? No, most people can't. Most people can't. You know what I'm saying? And there's and the piece is, when are we gonna stop being these dancing monkeys? Let's go back. A prince had some monkeys trained to dance, because we just was joined. What's up, Brother D? A prince has some monkeys trained to dance. Now, first off, what does training mean? Are we being educated in these schools, or are we being trained? Look, I want y'all to understand. Look, Ace, this story is 2,000 years old, right? But we still able. How much? What this is telling us is that not much has changed in the world since Aesop. I know some of y'all are like, oh, we got modern medicine, and we got cars, and we got no. Well, we might get places faster, and we might live a little bit longer. You know what I'm saying? But basically, the story he's telling is basically the same story that a lot of us are living out. A prince had some monkeys trained to dance. Being naturally great mimics of men's actions, they showed themselves most apt pupils. And when arrayed in their rich clothes and masks, they danced as well as any of the courtiers. Let's be clear. You can take a monkey and you can put him in a suit. You can take a monkey that's in the suit and you can take him to the office. You can take the monkey and you can train him how to push keys on a board. You can take a monkey and you can teach him how to answer a phone. You can take a monkey and teach him how to do everything in the office that needs to be done. But the bottom line is that monkey is always going to be a monkey. Many of us are trying to be something that we're not, like that monkey that they're training. Many of us are trying to be what the world tells us we need to be, not realizing that in a sense we're being set up for the woo. Because what's going to happen is listen, take it from a man who graduated from high school and did everything that I was told I was supposed to do. Right? Everything I was told I was supposed to do. I'm not unhappy, but I could be a lot happier. You understand what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? As far as emotional, I'm straight. As far as mental, I'm straight. But when it comes to the physical and the fiscal, right? Only because I have trained my mind, I do not go crazy. Because what I try to tell people, and a lot of people don't understand me when I tell them this. My grandfather bought his house. He bought the house next door to him. He tore down that house. He built a garage. He bought my grandmother a car every other year, and he kept himself a up-to-date car. When he wanted to travel, he decided to buy himself a van. When he wanted to have adventure, he bought himself a motorcycle. He used to take himself and his grandchildren to Florida on vacation every year. And he made between $45,000 and $50,000 a year. I'm making between $45,000 and $50,000 a year, and I can't afford a house. I can't afford a car. I can't. I want y'all to think about this. I'm making the same amount as my grandfather made in his prime. and I'm still not able to do what my grandfather did. What is going on, right? Look, I'm ready. You know, the peanuts. I'm throwing the peanuts out there for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Now you can look at those peanuts and try to continue acting like you fit in. I'm peanuts out there. You know what I'm saying? When I ran into Phil threw some peanuts out there, right? And he said, "Hey, dog, you got an opportunity to act on your. You got the opportunity to either act on your true nature of independence or continue being a slave. You can try to run for freedom. See, because this is what a lot of people don't understand. When we talk about, like when we get into African history, here Tubman will give people opportunities. But it was more people that turned her down than people who actually ran with her. And those people that ran with her struggled, but they made it. You see, we got to understand that any of us that want to be free, whether we want to be free emotionally, whether we want to, in the 5 areas of life that we talk about in Gye-Nyame, intuitionally, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically, if you want to be free in any of those, you are going to have to do some work, right? So, hey, I mean, I'm like, yo, are you willing to do the work? Are you ready to do the work? See, because in the journey, we got to be willing to do the work. It's work that needs to be done. It's personal work to be done, right? You got to start working on yourself, and you got to start being who you are. Don't allow these princes, these so-called princes of the world, to train you to dance, right? So let's go through a little bit more of the story. The spectacle was often repeated. Okay, hold on. The monkeys made apt pupils, and when arrayed in their rich clothes and masks, they danced as well as any of the courtiers. The spectacle was often repeated with great applause, till on one occasion a courtier bent on mischief took from his pocket a handful of nuts and threw them upon the stage. Now, I want everybody to understand this. A courtier, back in the day, was an individual that hung around a king, right? And in the court, because this is where we get the term court, the king will always have a court. This would be a place within his castle where he would meet with other people and place judgments on different individuals in the room, as well as make judgment for the people within his kingdom. And those people that usually were around him and closest to him were called courtiers. And the courtiers was always trying to one-up each other because they all knew that their wealth and their success was tied into the happiness of this monarch, right? So once this monarch that we're talking about got these monkeys, some of the courtiers start getting jealous of the monkeys. Now, I want you to understand this because some of us have been put in this position of some of these courtiers too, right? We have been put in a position where somebody who really don't belong could move into a position and take your place just because they could say yes a little bit better than you can. See, because the courtier, in most cases, is just yes man. Now, many of us, we got to step outside of the king's court and become princes ourselves. But we scared. We want to stay in there. You know why? Because there's security in the king's court. It's security in that prince's court. But a lot of times, in order for us to really get what we need out of life, we got to step out of our comfort zone. Many of us is too comfortable, right? And I always go back to one of my favorite quotes out of one of my favorite movies. I keep my friends close, but I keep my enemies closer. And a lot of people don't even know what that means. That means that the Godfather will keep his enemies close and he will keep his enemies comfortable. You know why? Because when I got you in a state of comfort, I could make a major move on you, and by the time you get up from your comfort or by the time you get ready to move from your comfort, I've already destroyed you. So, hey, I'm sorry, Phil. You can't keep talking, man.
No. This is good stuff because this is the thing. Your mindset, where you at, and this is the thing too. We getting older. When you get older, you're supposed to get wiser, and you should know when somebody's. And there's another piece too. I want you to hear what you said. He reached into his pocket and he just threw him. See, it wasn't even a barrel; it was in his pocket, and he's wanting you to be willing to accept that was in his pocket. Why wasn't it your pocket?
Ooh.
That's the thing. We don't mind taking something from somebody else's pocket when they throwing you something. It's okay, because why? You ain't got to do too much for that. And this here that gets me most. Most people is not willing to pay a price to do something different. You accept what you get. Think about the slave master. He used to say, "Hey, y'all free. Y'all can run." Most people.
I ain't going nowhere.
But hey, look, I tell you what you do. I'm gonna give y'all crop sharing. Now watch this. You give me half of your stuff. You can work for it. Give me half of your stuff, and then you can stay here for free. But wait a minute. That's not really for free. If I got to work for it, that's not free. So we want to stay there because it's comfortable to stay there. It's comfortable to work a 9 to 5. It's harder to work for yourself, or is it?
Oh, it's a whole lot harder.
But it's worth it. It's worth it. It's not easy, but it's worth it. Why? Peace of mind. I can fire myself when I choose to. I can go what I want. I can do what I want. But this is the thing. At the end of the day, you're going to work hard for yourself. Some people are not willing to work hard for themselves, but they work hard to make somebody else who's rich and richer and their kids rich. But they're not willing to do it for your own kids. And guess who's at fault at the end of the day? All you got to do is look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. You're at fault. And see, it's not about coming down on nobody. It's about you checking yourself. Check yourself. And this is another thing, too. Everybody needs to check their mindset. What are you leaving behind for the next person or your next generation? Or do we have this?
Hey, hold on.
Get yours.
Hold on, Phil. Brother D just came up and he ready to speak. You know what I'm saying? Now, some of y'all out there, I need y'all to understand this. This is going to be an exclusive. So if you're out there live on Spreaker, right, you will have approximately 2 hours to download this so that you can listen to it later and be reminded, because this is the issue. Because I am going to post. I'm putting this on exclusive. You're going to have to go and get you a membership in Gye-Nyame to go and listen to this one after we get done. Because those of you on Spreaker right now, you're just listening to me. But now Philip is up here dropping it, talking about slave master and you accepting something out the pocket, because he brought up the point, because I got to cover this field. He brought up the point that the courtier just pulled something from his pockets and the monkeys start fighting over the little bit that was in his pocket rather than having their own. See, because there's so many different angles that you can look at it from. You can look at it was just peanuts. Who is that? Oh, that sounds like Brother D. That's why I stopped you, Phil. Brother D, I was just trying to prime the pump to get him going.
Peanuts.
They were fighting over some peanuts.
Peanuts ain't even really nuts. They're goobers. So now you ain't got something that came out the ground. It ain't even up in the tree. He's fighting for some. The monkey lives in a tree. But
he's fighting on the ground.
Throws something that comes from the ground, so he goes and grabs the stuff that's on the ground, and he stops being in the tree.
Wow. That's why I call it wisdom mining. Y'all better get on this. 614-556-4535. We are live on Gye-Nyame Journey. I'm joined by Brother D. I'm joined by Brother Phil Felton. And I would put on my Ambit commercial right now, because I actually got, they got those commercials. I don't know if y'all know that. I got a commercial. I got it on my live show when I'm using my console, but on my cell phone I have not been able to upload it yet. But I will upload it. You know what I'm saying? Because look, this the key piece, right? I keep telling people, I am a nation builder. The challenge I have had is I have established territory. Even though a lot of y'all don't recognize that the internet is territory. The internet is territory. That's why I'm proud to have the Gye-NyameJourney.com. the tribe.gyeamejourney.com. That's territory, right? Now, from the territory, I need to be able to produce an economic life, right? Anybody that's talking about nation building that is not talking about economic life, you need to just keep walking away from them, because they're not really talking about nation building. What they're talking about, they're not even talking about tribe building. See, because actually we done reduced it from just nation building to tribe building. We're going to build what we got going on in Columbus right now, right? And we're trying to develop the economic life because we established the territory. Now, as far as the cyber territory, right? Now we're trying to get the economic life. Now, but I got a lot of people upset because they still want to stress the unique culture. But this is the problem we have. We know we got a unique culture as African Americans, as Africans in America, however you want to say it. We know we got a unique culture. We know we got our own language. What we need is an economic life. You can't have a people if you don't have an economic life. Every people got an economic life, except for African Americans, because our economic life comes from the pockets of other individuals that just take it out and throw it on the stage floor. And you know what they expect us to do? You know what they expect us to do, Phil?
Fight over them peanuts.
You know what they fight over them damn peanuts. Hell with that.
Some stuff on the dirt.
Right. some stuff that come from dirt. We live in trees. You know what I'm saying? We are above and beyond that. But yet we will fight, tear off the costumes, and fight over the peanuts that come out of somebody's pocket.
And think of this. How many individuals are allergic to peanuts?
Well, wait a minute. There is a lot of allergies. You're right. There's a lot of allergies. And this is another thing. Why is it when somebody comes up with a great idea to do something a little different, to put somebody in a different position to help them and their family and their family's family, but we're not willing to do that because that's a scam, that's a scheme, that's a Ponzi. What are you kicking to me? Why are you trying to take me and do something different?
Dude, listen.
But then still you accept them peanuts.
Listen, I tell people all the time, because one of the major pieces people be talking to me about with anything, right? They start talking about this whole pyramid shit, right? Especially conscious folk. This is what bothers me the most. My ancestors left monoliths called pyramids. When we wanted to make our mark on the planet, we didn't leave squares. We didn't leave triangles. We didn't leave big circles. We left pyramids. And all of the governments that we have formed throughout time have been shaped in the form of a pyramid. All the businesses right now that exist are formed in the shape of a pyramid. The government under which we serve and we are served is shaped in the form of a pyramid, but yet people are constantly trying to condemn anything that has a triangle shape. But anybody that know anything about triangles and geometry and putting things together know that one of the most stable forms that you can have is a triangle.
And guess who created it? And guess who created it? And guess
but we copied it from him. But go ahead, or it. We copied whatever. So
it's on the back of the greenbacks that you spend. It's on the back of them greenbacks you spend. Now you spend it, but you don't want to accept that. Yeah. You want to accept where your heritage come from.
Now I want peanuts, man. Give me the peanuts out your pocket.
Why is it everything that we have is supposed to be so bad? Black Friday. Why is everything we do with a pyramid is bad where we come from? Why is it everything we do is negative? There's nothing positive coming where we come from.
And check this out.
How bad you are.
Now check this out. What's even deeper is the very structure that people are saying that we shouldn't be using, everybody else does. The very wisdom. Like, we talking about Aesop fables, but a lot of people think Aesop was Greek. Aesop was actually black like us. You see what I'm saying? But, hey, I'm not here really to argue that point. But the point that I'm trying, the thing that I'm trying to get people to understand is that there are basic rules. There's timeless wisdom. Let's call it that. Timeless wisdom. Our ancestors worked with pyramids for a reason. Our ancestors worked with triangles for a reason. Our ancestors worked in the way that they did for a reason. But now, the point that I'm hearing from Phil is, why is it that when we approach each other with the very same structure that everybody else is using, we are met with skepticism and in some cases hate. Hate so deep that people can't even. It's just ridiculous. I come to you and I can offer you a service, regardless of what the service. I can offer you a service that is equal or better than the service from somebody of melanin-free hue could bring, and you would turn away my service. And I could frame it and tell you that I'm going to save your neighborhood, and you will argue with me about 2 cents. We can take it down. You argue with me over 2 cents. But then you go and you will pay top dollar for a designer thing with somebody who looks the opposite of me. You'll pay top dollar for their stuff. And
they don't even want you to wear it.
Not only don't they want you to wear it, knowing that they pay individuals pennies to make it. Knowing that exactly, peanuts. Peanuts to make it, but yet you'll wear it proudly and brag about how much you actually spent on it. Come on, man. We got to grow up.
I got a question.
Go ahead. As serious as cancer. Who keeps the average dancer hyper than nobody smiles?
If you ask the average black American right now, do they 6 or at least a year savings? Not the checking, but their savings that they can survive for a whole year without even working for anything. All right. So that you laugh at that one. So let's shrink it a little bit. How many African Americans can go 6 months with their wife's weekend done, toenails painted, the car she driving, the Mercedes, and him and all that, putting the gas, kids going to the nice schools, can go 6 months without even doing anything. Well, what about 3 months? Or wait. Let's do. Can you go a whole month living that way without have to worry about anything? But then, yet still, majority of us will go week to week, paycheck to paycheck, or wait. I heard this other day, and I didn't know what it was. A payday loan to a payday loan, and you'll work for a peanut that your kids are allergic to. They hand a peanut and take it back from you. Matter of fact, they throw the same shells, and you'll go through the shells trying to look for another nut. This is the point I make.
Damn.
Are you finished, and are you tired of living like that? There's other alternatives. The thing is, why don't you do something different? That's insanity. Doing
the same thing over and over again, looking for a different result. Yeah,
you're not gonna get it.
But hold on. See, we got to understand that a lot of us, because we don't know, we are insane. It's only when an individual can look at him or herself critically and be like, the behaviors I am exhibiting are giving me this result. Most people don't look at that because we're living off of instinct. Like now, going back to the negative side of the monkeys exist off of instinct. One of the lessons in the story is that things will act in their true nature. right? And for a lot of people that might be listening to this, right? You know, we don't even know what our true nature is. We have been bred and as they say, what's the word they use? Have been trained in a certain way. We have been trained to work against ourselves, right? And because we have been trained to work against ourselves, and the training has been, quote unquote, so good that when we get an opportunity or when we even hear something that possibly could lift us up and give us an economic life. See, because most of us, we don't want an economic life. We prefer an economic death. We have been trained to accept an economic death. We have been trained to take our money that we work and we sell the only thing that we really have. We sell our time, and we sell it cheaply. We'll take that money and take it to somebody else. We won't be happy unless we take it to somebody else. And that's something that we have to change. That's something that we have to, and the only way we could do it is by us being critical of ourselves. And Brother Hatim can't do it for you. Brother Phil can't do it for you. Brother D can't do it for you. You have to be able to look in the mirror yourself, right? And getting back to what I talked about earlier, and look at your dues, the do-dos. Do you have do's in your life that lead you toward your purpose, or do you have do-dos in your life that stink up your life? You know what I'm saying? Most people got do-dos in their life, things they do and things that they have to do that take them away from their purpose.
Yeah.
And because go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
your turn, D. Go ahead.
We're human beings, not human doings. You're not what you do. So who are you?
Wow.
Why is it that we don't stick together? Why is it? Wait, and there's another thing too. Those things about that monkey. Those were animals, and they were trained by someone else to do what they wanted them to do at the time they wanted them to do it. Now, let me speak about time for you. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're the richest man. I don't even care if you Michael Jackson, the Beatles, Elvis, whoever you are, Bill Gates, whatever you are, is one thing you cannot buy, and that's time.
That's time.
Because Michael Jackson died and Elvis passed and all the rest of them passed away. All that money they had, I have yet to see anybody come back and buy back some more time. So why do we waste something that is so tangible, that is so priceless, but yet still we don't take advantage of what we have? Time is of the essence right now. People, they putting down on me. No, what we're trying to do is open your eyes up to something different. We're trying to show you, listen, it's a better place. You know, and this is the thing, the pieces that you float on, what you could do, why not? Why not trust somebody else to do something a little different? What if, and I always tell everybody, what if that we can tell you can get more than the peanuts that you've been accepting? Matter of fact, why don't you start reaching in your pockets and throwing out your own nuts? Matter of fact, stop throwing out nuts and stop receiving them. Because we too busy, and watch this, Tim and Brother D, watch this. Why are we so quick to accept things? You accept the nuts, but you don't want to create your own. You don't even want to grow your own. But you accept everything. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go there, but enough is enough. We kings, and watch, we prince, and we kings of kings, and this is the problem. Some of us don't even know where we came from, so therefore you don't know where you're going. So we destroy because of a lack of knowledge. We destroy because of vision. Where you going? You wake up every day, doing the same thing, same grind, same job, same this, and you complain and complain and complain. And guess what? That beats on you, that wear on you. Your kids see what you're going through. Your wife upset, you upset, you ain't got no money. Look, money don't bring happiness, but money does bring options to become happy.
That's right. As Tony Robbins says, it's a lot better to ride up to your problems in a limo than to drive up to them in an old beat up Pinto. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot better. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, I mean, because like, you know, being someone, see, because people don't understand that the word adventure, right, is a business word. We associate it with Harrison Ford in that one movie where he played Indiana Jones, an adventurer. An adventurer was somebody who would go out into the world and risk everything to bring back a treasure. Sometimes he would fail, sometimes he would succeed. But an adventurer was a businessman. So when we talk about living our lives, and we talk about some of the things that's missing, one of the things that was definitely removed from us, or in a sense beat out of us, was the need for us to seek adventure. Adventure. You know what I'm saying? We don't seek that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Oh, my fault. My children do seek it, but we beat it up out of them. But because they don't have any positive avenues to seek it anymore, they seek it in gangs. They seek it in drugs. They seek it in sex. They seek it in avenues that are not very productive, that are not productive towards the society. So we end up tearing ourselves up because we're denying our true nature, right? So all somebody got to do is throw some peanuts on the floor, and guess what? Because we're denying our nature and we're starved to get into us, represents something that will pull us into our nature. The peanuts represent something small and insignificant that is close enough to something that we innately recognize that we will tear each other up to get it and not even know why. We'll be in the soup. You know what I'm saying? We'll have the best. We have the best cell phones and smartphones. We'll have the best cars. We'll have the best houses and all that. And somebody could throw that little reminder. That's what that peanut is, that little reminder about where you really should be. And what happens? We'll tear each other up for it, because deep down inside, we know we're not doing what we're supposed to do.
And Brother Tim, there's another part to that story. Notice what they
Time out. Hold on, time out. I just been promoted. This man grew up with me. He grew up with me, and we ain't hooked up in 26 years. When I first hooked back up with him, he would call me by the name that he knew me as when we grew up. And I told him, I said, dude, I don't mind. When you start seeing Hatim in me, you call me Hatim. What did he just call me? I just been promoted, right? Go ahead.
You know what? You deserve that. But this is what I want to share. Most people don't understand where these monkeys were from. They from the tree. They live in the tree, but they got down, or they went down below them and grabbed something beneath them. And that is the problem. Some of us don't know where we are in our life. Matter of fact, where are you in your life? Are you getting down, or are you dropping down, or are you lower than where you should be? You out of your place. And that is why we frustrated and fighting over peanuts, because you're out of your place. Your place is not on the ground. Your place is not. Listen, you ever notice? You ever notice that when you walk on something, in some cultures, when you take your shoe off and you throw it at somebody, that's Lord and spitting on somebody.
Yes, it is.
You're throwing Mother Earth on somebody. And a lot of people don't know when somebody throws something on the ground and you're willing to fight for something came out of somebody else's pocket to snatch it off the ground to eat it, you lower than what you are. And that's the thing. We don't know where we are. So since you don't know,
or who,
why don't you allow somebody
even
to
who
help
we
you?
are?
And there it is. And there it is.
So now we've been
how do
on.
we get from here to there? How do we get from accepting those peanuts and accepting what somebody's peanuts? How do we do that? Your job is not going to get you what you deserve. You just heard Tim talked about his grandfather. And I know the gentleman. He worked it hard for what he had, but I got one question. All that he worked for, what good was it? What good was it? He took his vacations. He had the motorcycles. He had the vans. I saw all this stuff. But I asked the question, where's there all that?
Well,
where
we
is
don't
all
have it.
what you? Where is it? What good?
It's gone.
And this is the thing. We got to stop being a person that want to keep spending. We got to learn how to be investors. And we got to invest in something that invests in you back. And this is the thing. Stop buying and stop spending your money in places where people don't want you there. If they can't give back to me and my kids, I'm not dealing in your store no more. Why is it that the brother down on the other court and you won't buy from him because his stuff, you think he's getting too far, or you're making him rich. But yet still you make the other man, the opposite color of you, whatever color he may be, rich.
Rich. See, and you know, because that's called having a code. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like one of the things that when we hooked up, and I heard you telling somebody the story about how somebody refused to do business with you, and you immediately stopped doing business with them. And a lot of us are not bold enough. We don't have the courage or the fire in us to do that. You see what I'm saying? You don't want to do business with me, so I'm not going to do business with you. You see what I'm saying? Because when we start thinking like that, start operating like that, we're operating like men. You understand what I'm saying? Because men understand. You know, dude, if my community does not have an economic life, we die. See, people confuse economics with money. The resources in our community is blood. Our community, like the stores and the different businesses we have in our community, act as the organs of the body of our community. The politics act as the nerves of our community. So now we know all that dies. The organs, the tissues, the bones, all that dies if the blood is not flowing. We think that money is the blood. So we'll be satisfied with making $100,000 a year, which means that at any given time, the person that opened up his purse to give us $100,000 a year can close his purse from us making $100,000 a year. We got caught up in that money myth, when in fact it's about resources, controlling resources and commodities, controlling big things rather than being satisfied with the symbol of the thing. Money is a symbol that we use to exchange goods, right? We need to own the damn goods that we exchanging. How much property do we have with wood on it that somebody needs to come and buy that wood from us so that they can make their product? How many electric factories do we own? You see what I'm saying? So we get caught up in the symbolism of things rather than getting caught up in the reality of things, right? And we know that if the economic life represents the flow of blood in a body, what happens to a body when the blood no longer flows? What happened to your body when the blood stopped flowing?
Dead as a doorknob.
Dead as a doorknob. We have allowed our community to die.
And
There
some
ain't
of us
nobody else.
don't even know it.
That's called a zombie. It's called a zombie. Most people, not just black folks, most folks operate in a zombie mindset. It never crossed your mind why zombies are all of the zombies and dead vampires are all of a sudden super popular in our culture right now?
Mm.
Whether the vampire is black or white, or whether the zombie is black or white, there is a fascination with this being that is soulless and dead. And it lives on eating others.
Mm.
It can't create its own food. It survives on somebody else, not just what they have, but it survives on them itself. Is this not a perfect description of what's going on in America, and especially what's going on in the black community? You have individuals who cannot create things for themselves that have to live off of you. I can't get a job, so I have to take from you. Zombie. You know, Fela called it 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, we satisfied with what we are. You know what I'm saying? We're happy with what we are. You know what I'm saying? So when somebody approach you with a business opportunity, you can't recognize it. When somebody approach you with a system that could save your life, you can't recognize it. I'm not mad at you.
Brother Tim,
you know.
Let me add this. It's considered poor. And watch this. Most people thought about their pocketbook, and I'm not even talking about a pocketbook. When you approach somebody with a thought, you become poor when you don't want to go outside of what they're saying to you. It means passing over opportunities repeatedly.
Passing over, POOR, passing over opportunities repeatedly.
Right.
And think about it. Wait, hold on. Isn't this what the system that my grandfather came up in, isn't this what it taught him? Is it the education system designed to teach you that? To pass over opportunities? Because there's always a better job. Mm-hmm. You want security. See, you don't want adventure. You want security, but what a lot of men don't see, women need security and safety. Some of them, let's say a large, but men need adventure. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? You take adventure from a man, you take away his testosterone, and he won't be able to get it up after too much longer. Right? You take adventure from a man, he's no longer a man. You understand what I'm saying? When you take that away from us, you know what I'm saying? We're no longer men. So you go into one of these schools, you look and see what they're doing with our little boys. You go into a job, you see what they're doing with our men. You ain't allowed to act like a man at no damn job. You gonna act like a man. Act like you got an adventure. Act like you got a life outside there. Act like you got a set of balls and see how long you be on that job. Come on, man. So I'm like, yo, you know, opportunities come my way, dude. I failed 1,000 times. I'm not scared of failure. I failed the first grade. I let everybody know that. I flunked the first motherfucking grade. You know what I'm saying? And I'm so happy I did because I found out that there's life after failure. See, a lot of y'all don't want your kids to know this. You don't even want to accept it yourself. There's life after. As a matter of fact, there's a better life after failure. I'm so glad that my mother had the foresight to say that my son is not reading at the level he needs to read, and I'm going to hold him back. She didn't jump when they threw the peanuts and say, hey, we're going to let your son pass. She said, no, I don't need to chase after them goddamn peanuts. You're going to keep your ass in the first grade until you learn how to read. I came out the first grade and ended up 12 years later getting a full ride to Ohio State debt free. People don't understand that. They don't even understand that. See, because the point is this. Many of us, because we are scared of failure, you know what I'm saying? We won't take the opportunities. I failed, and I failed, and I failed. When 2008 hit, I failed. I had to declare bankruptcy before 2008. And I still ain't stopped. I bought into other companies prior to, because I'm looking for another way. My dad, when I ran into him again, and I say this loosely, you know what I'm saying? I ran into my dad again when I became a grown man. I ran into him in Columbus, and me and my dad was talking, and my dad said, "Damn, you still trying to get rich? I remember you trying to be rich when you was young." I done failed so many times that I know what to do and what not to do. And as a matter of fact, I know that when I know what to do, oftentimes that won't lead me to wealth. I need to be put outside in order for me to make the amount of money that I need to make. Because people like, "Brother Hatim, where your locks at?" I cut them off because I need to make $15 million. What you need $15 million for? Well, I have a camp called Simba. I still love my fam. We need a campsite. I need to buy a campsite. My school, I need to buy the school, right? And then I want to buy an apartment complex. I need $15 million. So I need to cut my hair off to remind me every morning when I get up and look in the mirror. I need to remind myself that I got to look for new opportunities every day. I got to get uncomfortable every day so I get where the hell I need to go. Because my kids are counting on me. And I ain't just talking about the ones that I gave birth to. I'm talking about the ones that surround me and trust me every day. Because if I don't make it happen for them, who gonna do it? With all these zombies walking around here. I'm sorry.
And you know the top side of what you're looking for?
I'm sorry, I had to give myself my applause and shit. Calm me down a little bit. Go ahead, bro.
Rich. You're looking to be rich, right?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to be rich. I want to be wealthy.
Let me tell you what it's going to be. Rich. What is rich? Rich is residual income creates happiness. Residual income creates happiness. That means something comes every month, whether I get up or not. If I choose to go anywhere in my house or not. And that is better than accepting peanuts.
Oh yeah, that's actually that's creating a factory, right?
Yeah. There you
go.
Know
what I'm saying? You're creating that factory. Break that down again. You said rich means. You said poor means. Say it again. Poor means passing over opportunities regularly.
Repeatedly.
And rich means
ain't nothing good for me. No, I don't want that neither. But wait a minute, you work 9 to 5. Hey man, listen, let's go do this. No, that ain't good. You trying to take from me. All right, I found something else. Let's try this. No, I'm good. But yet still your job ain't giving you what you deserve.
What you would deserve, or really what you need, because really, man, because think about it, I want to stress this: by men not pursuing adventure, we become lesser men. I don't give a damn what your job is. You see what I'm saying? Men have to pursue
what your job
adventure.
is. You know what the job is, don't you? Yeah. You know what your job is. Just over broke. Yep. I do just enough so they don't fire me. You understand something. You're taught 2 things in America. Not 3. It should be 3, but it's only 2. You're taught to come out of high school and get yourself a good job, or you're taught to go out of high school and go to college and get in debt. But you're never taught to how to come out of high school or anything else to be an entrepreneur.
Never.
Why is that? Why is it only 1% of Americans are rich?
Entrepreneurs are the revolutionaries. They are the ones that don't fit. Because America needs drones. They need zombies. Capitalism needs individuals who don't think. You just need to get the check. That's it. You don't think. That's what capitalism is about. And a lot of us don't understand that, like, for example, I remember one time I had a lady, I went through a course, and she was telling me about her niece. Her niece was very smart and got recruited to a fancy private school. And when her niece got up there, the story that her niece told her when she got back was that she was being instructed that all of the kids that went to public school was being trained to work for the individuals at this private school. Now, they weren't being in public school. You're not being trained to support yourself. You know what I'm saying? You're not being trained to find out who you really are. You've been trained to work and make other people's rich. And this is why a lot of our young men, this is why a lot of our kids run from school like it's the plague. They run from it because innately they know that it's trying to kill something in them. It kills the sense of adventure, man. You go to school every day and you know that the lunch is going to be available for you every day, and it's very predictable, and you know where you're supposed to be at 10, you know where you're supposed to be at 11, you know where you're supposed to be at 12. It's so balanced and in order and shapely, which is good in some ways, but in other ways, far as becoming a man, far as becoming some entrepreneur, is horrible. Why? Because it kills the very thing that America needs. It kills the desire to create something for yourself. Most people in the future need to be self-employed. I tell my kids every day there are no more jobs. Those of you that think that possibly you may work at a factory, factories are gone from America and they're never coming back. They don't even need you to flip burgers no more because they're going to come up with machines that do it better than you. They are coming up with machines that are working in hospitals with older people right now. They don't need you. They're training Watson. Watson is going to medical school. For those that don't know who Watson is, look it up on the internet. Find out who Watson is. Watson is going to medical school. Watson and IBM. Look it up. They're talking about having drones drop your packages off at your house. That's probably another 3 million jobs gone. Nobody's thinking about this. You know what I'm saying? So when Cleve see me, when my youngest son see me studying something, and he looks at what I'm looking at and be like, yo, I want to sell that. I want to do that. Y'all got to understand that I'm coming. The individuals that will be running this city and eventually this state is going to come from my camp. That's the goal. That's when I talk about this. That's what I'm talking about. The next entrepreneurs, the next stream. Let's say a generation out. The next stream of entrepreneurs is going to come from my crew. That's what I'm doing. I don't know what the hell everybody else is doing. That's what I'm doing right there, right? So, I'll be able to be in Columbus and have carte blanche by the time I'm 70. Be like, bro, I tell him that's too late. Yeah, it's too late for me, but what about for my daughter? You see what I'm saying? Because I'm building a legacy. Y'all don't understand that. I don't give a shit about these. I don't care about these peanuts. Peanuts. I could be hungry. I could make sure my kids eat. I could be hungry. I done practice fasting. You know what I'm saying? If I need to get my kids somewhere, really, if I need to get them to school, I got to be a cart, especially designed for running. I can put 2 of my kids in the cart and strap the other one to my back, and I can get them to any school I want them to get it to within a 5-mile distance within an hour. You know why? Because I trained myself for that. That's what I call warriorship. A lot of y'all don't understand that. But I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Brother D, you ain't said nothing, man. You already know y'all can't let me go, man. Y'all can't let me go like that. Y'all done hung up on me.
No, sometimes it's better to get it off your chest. Don't get it off your chest, because what you're saying is meant for somebody, not everybody. Because if everybody was doing it, we have a total different picture. So it's okay to let some of that go. That's called build up wisdom. You're trying to release it. And this is the thing. There's nothing wrong with passing on something. See, there's a difference between dying, really dying, and passing on. See, some people don't understand that. See, when I leave here, I want to scar everybody I can. So they'd be like, that dude did such and such for me, or that dude right there was this way. Not with a bad memory. Not with a bad memory, but with a great memory. He helped me get to my level, and for that I'm thankful, because now I can help somebody else. See, this is the thing. Most people don't understand. We ain't doing no handouts. We doing hand-ups. It ain't about trying to give you a fish. No. We're trying to teach you how to go out there and get your own. Not out of the lake, but out of an ocean. And how you know what it looks like on the other side unless you take a chance and go on the other side. Because what you've been dealt, that to me is wrong. Some people ain't never been out of their neighborhood. They say, for what? I got everything right here. But the people that are selling you this stuff, are they your friend? And why are you supporting them? They don't even look like you. But if we were in those stores, would you support me? And right now, our kids are in trouble. But I ask you, are you in or are you out? Remember that game we used to play, Hot Tim, and they dishy ice cream?
This, yeah. I remember that.
I wonder which one of y'all can get out. Some people say they just throwing up a lot of hype, a lot of air, a lot of just talking. But I ask you a question. Sometimes we talk enough to start some action. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do with what you got? I never forget there's a couple of scriptures in the Bible, and it speaks about this. Moses was standing at the water one day, and he had this staff in his hand. And he said, how are we going to get across the other side? Well, wait a minute, man, what you got in your hand? And I asked some of y'all, what you got in your hand? Why don't you use what you got to get what you need? Some of you got a thought. Why don't you use the thought?
Because I'm scared, man.
It's been dealt with. Listen, fear is a challenge. It's a change. Most people want to be rich, but are you willing to do some things different to be rich? Some people want a lot of money. It's one thing to get the money, but do you know what to do with it when you get it? That's why most people hit the numbers. They end up broke within 2 years because they go out and buy a limo. They buy a big old huge house. They go have all these parties, and they're broke. Why? They never found out a reason how to invest it. What are you going to do with it when you get it? What are you doing to train yourself to get out of where you are? And stop right now. This is another thing I want to share with you. If right now you jumped out of your tree and you're on the ground, climb back up in your tree, look at where you are, and stop accepting peanuts. I tell you right now, if I told you and I tell you and detail you, you can get better, some of you don't believe that. What if we showed you better? Some of you still won't believe it.
Even see, the only way, and this is what's crazy, man. The only way some people will get it, they won't get it until after you up and gone. You see what I'm saying? It's like because it's like, and you got to be careful who you show your success, because they will act, you'll become the peanuts on the damn stage.
Wait. Go a little deeper. We got dream thieves too.
Oh yeah.
We don't want you to go and leave us. See, there's another thing too. Everybody can't go where we're going. But some of our kids is dying just because they don't have nothing else to do.
Nothing else to do.
They seeing the headship. See, this is the thing. If you ever want to kill anything, go after the head. You ever got a head cold, Brother Tim and D? You ever got a head cold where your body just don't feel like it want to do nothing?
Right.
Because once you get a head cold, the body ain't moving. That's what's going on now. They're attacking headship. A man is the head. Because why? He's physical. A woman is a nurture. Some people have traded. I ain't going to go there. Some of us have traded, and we out of our element, but that's okay. That's another story. But this is what I'm trying to share with you. If you are a leader, and you are, if you are a king of kings, and you are, why are you so afraid to do something a little different? And why are you just accepting what you're getting? The worst thing going to happen, you're already on your knees. The best thing going to happen, if you can just stand up just a little bit and take 2 steps forward, I guarantee you won't be in the same place you were. But some of us, we're just too afraid to stand up because we're too afraid. We're too afraid what Master going to do.
Man, what are you going to do?
Guess what? I'm already here.
What can't see?
I ain't got nothing.
There you go. What can he really take? See, because one of the first things...
He's going to take my shells. I don't want him to take my shells and my nuts.
Right. Man, one of the first things that came to my mind when I got hit with this opportunity was that one of the first things that people start thinking is they're going to kill you. If you get too big, they're going to kill you. They have always stopped us. Like, wow, man. You know what I'm saying? But the whole piece is, I'm not a historian, but I researched good enough to be able to find individuals that they didn't stop. You know what I'm saying? I'm good enough to do that.
Or how about this? This is the individual that they thought they had killed. Actually, that birthed an entire another movement to move. Because it's like being a seed.
It is.
Once the seed dies, whatever else is inside can never get out. So until you are willing to sacrifice and give up that old paradigm for something new, you're willing to lay it down and actually open yourself up to actually see what's going to grow from that so-called death.
Brother D, I got something. A thought just bust me in my head. Why? You're already dead. Why don't you bury yourself? Why? Some people, wait, we're going to go somewhere. Why don't you be a dead seed, bury yourself, and watch this. This is something about a seed that I love about a seed. When you bury a seed, you don't see it sprout up. Weeks, months might go by until moisture, water, or something hits it, moistens the soil, and all of a sudden you see a little sprout. Something brand new will come up. See, sometimes you got to go down before you can get up.
That's very
Some of
true.
y'all got down, so now since you're down, you might well keep on going down. Root yourself and ground it real good so you'll be able to sprout up. Some people got it, some didn't. So what? I can't help you.
All right, so this is what we're going to do. Because we are an hour and 24 minutes into the show. The show is only about an hour show. I want to thank both of y'all for stopping in. I'm going to give both of you opportunity to do a last word, and then we're going to shut it down so I can go and get some sleep so I can do what I need to do tomorrow. Go ahead. You go first, Phil.
Oh man, you ain't changed a bit. But listen, man, thank you, thank both of you for opportunity. Thank you for allowing me to just spend something that is priceless. That's time. Nobody can never give that back. And I just hope that we encourage somebody, not to tear somebody down, not to pull them down, but to uplift somebody and tell them they have options. It's options.
Right.
You have to have options. You don't have to stay where you are. And it's going to be up to you from here on out where you want and choose your destiny to be. And stop allowing people just to give you something and you're supposed to be okay with that, what they give you. Stop accepting everything. Because as for me and mine, we gonna sort through what we want. And matter of fact, we're gonna start producing and giving to others. Not what you should accept. Okay? But this is kicker. Why don't you be the person that you should be? What do you dream? And it's something amazing about a little kid to have a dream. And some of us were kids being dreamer as little kids. Whatever happened to your dream? Are you living a dream or a nightmare right now? Are you accepting those peanuts? And so I'm just going to close with this. If I'm not trying to sell you no drugs, if I'm not trying to harm you, if I'm not trying to beat you across your head or steal from you and your family, why can't I present a business opportunity to you that what if it's something good that can change your lives and the lives of others around you? It's not about just you. So I just close with that.
All right. Brother D, you guys some closing words?
Yeah, and say, well, the proverb says, without a vision, the people perish. And so what is it that you're looking for? And are you looking in the right direction? Because this is the thing. Our ears tell us where to look. That's how we actually see. If I'm hunting something and I don't see it, I have to listen for it. So instead of making all this noise and having rhetoric, take the time to listen so that you can get the vision and move towards your destiny.
So, hey, this is Gye-Nyame Journey, and I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in, that took time to tune in. This is the private session now, because I got the speaker station on. I want to thank Brother Phil. I want to thank Brother Devin. It is late, and I'm about to go to sleep. So with that, we're out. And with that, brothers, I say peace out.
Peace.
Peace.